Hey everyone, and welcome to our Social Media Monday. Thank you very much for being here. And before we get started with looking at the internet is a zoo and different characters and some pretty good ideas that I managed to come up for you guys here today, Robert wants to talk about the crazy success that he has been having with LinkedIn, and his pipeline is totally full. So, Robert, you wanted to? We asked if you could hold off before.
Sure.
And now this is the time to share because everyone's listening to you. So what's going on with your LinkedIn? How's it working for you? And tell us your successes.
Well, I have to admit that I'm amazed. Well, I signed up for the LinkedIn selling course.
Yep.
Paid their money. Okay. And got into the back end, and I'm a bit of a slow learner. So I had to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and begin to develop and stuck to the strategic plan that they offered and suggested that you do.
Yeah.
And now I have a little bit of an unusual situation, I think, because I'm not really reaching out to the clients that are currently using services that I offer. So I'm not selling cell phone, or I'm not selling internet service provider or IT service. So the people that I'm reaching out to are people that are that I want to target, which are specific people that would be suitable for the franchises that I offer.
Yes.
And one in particular. The good side of it is it's easy to identify who they are. So, but no different than if you're in a service providing situation and you want to reach out to dentists.
It's your target market.
Yeah, I've identified my target market as sales representatives in the industrial or construction supply business. So then, using our trusty rusty duck soup, plus LinkedIn, I have found that even though the LinkedIn selling people frown on using any sort of robot because you'll get shut down, I've not found that to be the case. So with duck soup, I punch in a territory. I say BC, I want industrial sales reps, or BC, I want construction sales reps, and I go through it in a process. And I've now amassed after I prune out the people that just don't fit the category, I've added 600 or 700 people in the last 4 weeks to my database of leads, and have now reached out to them. So the sales process is an initial invitation, and they have a very, very structured way saying you want to give them some interesting collateral to engage them, and I did that. I used Odin as a resource, saying, I would like to help you. I want to connect you to Odin if you're interested. I got a lot of thank yous. I got a lot of people that just didn't respond. And I went through the process of message 1, message 2, message 3. Message 3 was, would you be interested to see if if a franchise was available in your area that was right in your wheelhouse, that was affordable? Would you want to have a look at it? Well, I've had, and I just did a test of 50, and I got 4 replies saying, yeah, I'd like to check with you about it. So I've got almost 8%, 9% response, and of those, 2 of them are locked in. They are awesome opportunities that would be for what it is that I offer. So,
yay!
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I know, and I have another 500 to go.
And hold it a second, just to clarify, you're not working harder, you're working smarter, right?
Yeah, well, I have a virtual assistant that's doing all the grunt work for me.
Yeah.
I've just I got to give her a little punt now and then to get her to get going. But I got to say that using the LinkedIn profile system has been extremely rewarding.
Awesome. That is just fantastic news. Thank you very much, Robert. And does anyone have any questions for Robert while he's here with us? There's a few people on the line here. You can question him. You can get some answers. This is what this is about.
And my consulting fees are very minimal.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody? Any questions? No?
Great. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robert. I
Yep.
I know it's working, and I'm working it as well. So now it's just a matter of creating those systems that we can duplicate. So I was doing some research today, and what I found is I posted it up on our group page, our Canadian Marketing Team group page. So this is in there, and all the resources are there as well. So I did a little research, and I was like, okay, what are the 4 steps that we need to be following at all times for our business? Well, and social media. One is find people. So we need to constantly be looking for people that are within our target market group. Next, we want to provide great content to our social media followers. We want to be able to capture their information. And then after that, what we want to do is we want to continue to stay in touch. That's what's so great about social media, is because now, instead of having to be in touch and follow up with so many people over an entire year, now what we can do is we can really take that and compact that, where we can be talking to thousands of people in a matter of minutes. And that's exactly what social media is here to do for us. So I was doing some more research, and I was looking to see, okay, what is it that we can do to make ourselves even better? And I kind of got this really interesting, it's called The Internet is a Zoo, the ideal length of everything online. Every piece of content should be as long as it takes to convey the message and no longer. So what we have here the ideal character count. You guys copy this, and I gave it as a link also onto the group page, so you can go there and check that out. So what we have between 71 and 100 characters in Twitter. We got 40 characters in Facebook posts, which is essentially the first 2 lines. And anything after that, most people don't look at. So make those first 2 lines really well, and if they choose to see more, great. And what we have here is 60 characters for Google+. We have 45 to 55 in paragraphs. We have the URL or domain names. We got hashtags, 8 characters, 6 characters. Subject lines, no more than 28 to 39 characters. And then, of course, taglines, 55 characters. And then it's showing here just a little bit more of the ideas of 3 minutes. So the ideals here is the ideal word count. So blog headlines, no more than 6 words. LinkedIn posts, no more than 25 words. And blog posts should be no more than 1,600 words. And these are based on best practices, by the way. So I just wanted to share with you best practices. As you guys are each week growing on the social media front, all you're going to do is you're going to just take the foundation we built last week and build a little bit more this week. Go figure. That's how education works, eh? So here what we have is we've got 3 minutes for YouTube. So the most popular videos are pretty short. After analyzing the length of 50 YouTube videos, the average length was about 2 minutes and 54 seconds. And that's the standard. And so podcasts, no more than 22 minutes. TED Talks, they're no more than 18 minutes. And slide shares, 6 minutes. So if you're following the rule of good presentation design, you're creating in-depth presentations with an ideal number of about 61 slides. So there's just an example of how long the ideal number of minutes. So here it's saying 6 minutes, but it's saying 61 slides. I'm thinking that it's give or take that each slide should be no more than 6 minutes explained. We go for about 1 minute to 2 minutes instead of the 6 minutes. So there's always, there's exceptions to all rules. So let's take a look at the next little bit that I've managed to find for today, which I thought was pretty cool. So the advantages of social media, what I have right here, is that it makes you credible. So you probably want to write that down. It increases your referrals. It helps you build new relationships that you probably wouldn't have ever found in the regular way. You can demand higher prices as well. What you're doing is you're recognizing that you don't have to settle, that what you can do is you can actually identify a target market that can afford your products and services. But in the meantime, as you're growing, what I always recommend is definitely charge however much you feel comfortable charging. You have outstanding visibility. You create familiarity. You can create trust. And all of this is what it's meant on a weekly basis for us to do on social media. So the more that you're the more that you're posting on your accounts, the better off you're going to be. Then, of course, after you're developing all of this, what you're doing is you're offering your products and services, and you're, of course, being perceived as the expert. And we just heard from Robert that all of this is happening in a record pace. So he's sending out a message that's making him credible. He's made his LinkedIn profile so that he's credible. He's building brand new relationships. Some people ignore him. Some people do not ignore him. Hasn't breached the price yet, but it doesn't matter, because out of all what he's done, he says he's another 500 leads to go, that he's already gotten 2 incredibly solid individuals that have been qualified for his program, which is amazing. And now what he's doing is he's going to be creating that visibility and that familiarity, building that trusting relationship. And then what he's doing is he's continuing to move them through that sales process. I also wanted to mention a bit about what we're doing and how we're using social media here too, just to give you some ideas. So you'll notice that on a monthly basis, what we have is we have these special events. And you'll notice that you'll be able to follow what I'm doing in marketing on a monthly basis. So you can see that I'm using the team page, the Canadian Marketing Team page, exactly how it should be used. And we have a number of different marketing avenues. We do recommend, as quickly as you can, putting on regular presentations and creating different content. So what you do is you set out to create a minimum of one presentation for today, then next month or 2 months from now, another presentation, and so on, because what that does is it starts helping out with your funnel and allows you to use social media exactly the way it's supposed to be used, where what you do now is you send people to a video, or what you do is you get them to take action on a free report, and then what you do is you get them to take action to come to a free event, and then you have them take action to, so all these different touches that allow you to create your business. And we recommend you model after us, of course. So then after we've done this, what we do is of course, we're boosting our posts. That is something that we do. We do pay for our advertising. And this morning, I was like, I want to do something different than I usually do. And so what I did is I opened up a Word document. I checked out one of our pictures that we have on file. And then what I did is I just created this. It took a little while, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and just putting it the right way. And then I put all these cool, information in there. And then I posted it and I boosted it. And what you can see in the first page right here, what I have is I got the first 40 characters, exactly the way they're suggesting it right there. And I understood that Facebook and LinkedIn and all them, they also like pictures. So what I also did is I went over here. And so what I'm recommending to you is to look and see, how am I doing it? How are other people doing it? And what are you doing to create a very similar product or service or presentation or framework? And all of you that are on the line today, you all have similar businesses. All of you here could be putting presentations together, and need to be, and then start promoting your presentations in this particular way so that you can start building more familiarity and building those new relationships, expanding your network. And of course, we're all helping each other as well, which is really awesome. So let's take a look at some of the other tools that I managed to find. And I thought this was really interesting also. So I put all of these here into our group right here. So free social media marketing resource toolkit right there. Put it 19 minutes ago, so you guys can go and check it out. If you're not part of the Canadian Marketing Team group, you definitely want to become part of our group. And I am pretty picky on who I let in. So I want to make sure you're Canadian, and or at least in a Western developed country. You can be in North America or Australia or New Zealand or something like that, or Europe, English speaking. But generally, if you want to be a part of this group, you just let us know. So we did put that in there for you to look at. Now let's have a quick look over here. So how to choose your social network, and a number of us have already chosen our network. But in the trend of always wanting to give you guys more information and continue to have that the repetition that sinks into our brains, I'd like for you to expand your current what you're using for social media. So you'll see here that we have all of them, as a matter of fact. We don't use Google Plus as much as we could. So, I mean, I think that's an area that we could probably focus in on. But SEO and authors, search engine optimization and authors typically use Google Plus. You find that LinkedIn is very much business focused. I find that for us, LinkedIn works very, very well. You'll find here Pinterest is image based. And so we're finding that Pinterest and Instagram work very good for some of our clients that have natural skincare products, or that have a product in and of itself. Very, very good because it is image based. But also, what I really like Pinterest and Instagram for is that it gives me the ideas. So I go in, I use those for ideas, and then I collect my image ideas, and then I use those to repost. And look at the numbers here: 1.28 billion people. 255 million, 200 million, 400 million, 187 million. If you guys can't get a minimum of 10 clients in your goal frame, either within a week, a month, or within 3 months, out of that many people, then if you can't do that, then we need to take a look at your marketing plan. Then we need to take a look at your time management and understand how come you're not doing the time management. We need to take a look at all the things that you're doing, because there's chances are maybe you just need to practice more or post more or engage more. So let's take a look a little more at this. How to choose a social. So we can see right here that what is more popular with women and what is more popular with men. And you can see here what is more popular between age groups. So if your age group is between 18 and 29, then you can see age groups. You want to look for people that are more educated. They're over here. And if you want to look for people with higher incomes, they're over here. So that'll give you a really good idea of where it is you want to be focusing in on your business. Let's take a look at here at social networking demographics. And before I continue on, I've been chatting a little. It's supposed to be a bit of a social, it's like a round table. Are you guys finding this at all interesting?
Yeah, totally. Actually, what's interesting thing I'm noticing is that seems to reflect the general pattern I've noticed as to where I have the most success in finding valuable contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Is I get like nothing at all from Facebook. No matter how hard I pushed at it, I'd get nothing useful from Facebook. Twitter is okay.
I get lots from Facebook, but that's because I'm working it. I'm in the groups. I'm doing. Like I'm actually on a weekly basis. You can't just focus on posting things. You got to also focus on building your relationships in the groups if you want to post stuff in those groups. So just remember that.
The thing I noticed though is that it's way easier for me to get results on LinkedIn.
Yes, of course.
Because that's where my target market is mostly.
Well,
Twitter is also a decent match for my target market as well, more so than Facebook. So of the two big
Twitter and LinkedIn.
One is Twitter and LinkedIn seem to be the two top dogs for me that I get actual, like results that can translate into dollars in one way or another.
And so let's take a look at it a little bit further. Higher income on LinkedIn, more educated on LinkedIn, and more popular with men on LinkedIn. And traditionally, when we have these particular demographics, and you yourself are a guy, sales can happen quicker.
Yeah. Odin, can I weigh in here?
Yes, I have lots of women that are my clients as well, by the way. It's not that women don't make quick decisions. It's just that over the last, let's say, 100 years, women have slowly stepped up into their position of empowerment. And but I do notice there is a bit of a difference between the two groups. I mean, men are men, women are women. But go ahead, please, Robert.
No, absolutely. I mean, the LinkedIn profile for me and the male profile is certainly more optimum for my franchise offerings.
Yes, yeah.
And perhaps even for my cryptocurrency interest. The Facebook side is interested in cryptocurrency, but I also am venturing into the CBD oil side of things.
Yeah.
And it's extremely female oriented for the healthcare side of things, and it's just amazing the difference in the response.
Well, look at this, more educated and higher income, right? So what you do is, it's not here. It's not here, but everyone has a Facebook account. You have to make yourself present. So even if you just have a page and you do nothing with it, just a page, not a group, you're still ahead of the curve than people that have nothing. I've actually made quite a bit of money on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And there's another one here that is not listed, which I wanted to remind you guys of. There's two more here that are not listed that are very, very important to our success overall. And that's Alignable. Funny enough, I've actually made a lot of money off of Alignable. People, I mean, they just, it just, I don't know, it's different than LinkedIn actually, or no, sorry, different than Facebook. I got more success on Alignable than I have on Facebook, just to let you know. And also wanted to remind you guys that it's important to set up and started on Meetup. A Meetup is really...
There's been a big push on Meetup through my social media. Yeah, it's very interesting. I guess it's, can you do Meetup effectively virtually, or do you have to actually have...
You can do both. I do both. So I've been running, I would be considered an expert at Meetup. I've been on it since it began, its inception, I think 10, 12 years ago. And I would say that probably over 50% of our clients come because of the Meetup. And so as I've been learning, I found that the idea in this specific here is that you can do both online and offline marketing. So you can have an online event, and for this particular one, this is across Canada. So when we have an online event, we promote it to everybody. When we have an online event, people who are across Canada can come on to the online event. Most people will say, hey, I'm in Ontario, Odin, I can't really come for lunch. So I understand that. And so you want to build it out for both. And
hey, Odin, I see on this image that you posted here, you've got Dan Watson as a new member. I happen to know him really well.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
Oh, Dan, yeah, I know him too.
Yeah, no, great guy.
Yeah. Dan has been actually did some recommendations with me, and we've been playing phone tag back and forth. He supports it that I do.
I would love to chat with the man. We have to connect. So go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Yeah, cool. I've been trying to connect with his buddy Trent, I think it is. Another one of his associates. But
yeah, I think Trent is a little bit difficult for you to connect with because he works. Last I spoke with him, he was working construction during the daytime hours when you're doing your office hours. So you need to connect with him evening or weekend to make an exception to your usual rule.
Okay, sure. Okay, no problem. We can do that. So you can see here that there's a number of meetup groups. So we have this one right here is called the Sales Marketing Meetup Group. So we've got about 1,023 members, and we keep on getting new members all the time. So we'll just see here, we got Dan that just became a member, and Justin just became a member. So we got a few memberships that come in. We can see we have the business builders. This is the real estate business builder. So one of my niches is real estate, and we have 1,260 there. And then we have another real estate membership over here. So you can see I really went out on real estate. We have the business joint venture club here. And this is another business one. So this is about doing business. And then what we have is another one here, another real estate group, another real estate group, and another real estate group, and another one. Go figure what I was into, right? And then what we have, I still am. I just do that as a hobby now. I enjoy this. And then what we have is the White Rock South Surrey Business Network as well. So we've got all of this that we use that is not on this list here that we just talked about a moment ago. So there are, if I were to put Meetup over here, I would say that Meetup is predominantly populated with men. There are women, but mostly men have shown up to our events. I would say 75-25. I would say that it's popular for our events. Our events get people that are over. So again, we had to make our profile in such a way that we would go after our target market. I would say that a majority of people that come on to the Meetup and Alignable are LinkedIn. I would say that, on Alignable and Meetup, I would say that Alignable has a higher income, and I would say that they are more educated on Alignable as well.
So, Odin, would you say that Meetup would be more localized than national or international?
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, though, what you're able to do, what's really cool about the Meetup, is they do have in-person meetings, but there's some people that have the online meetings. It's very much used for your local area. So it is area specific. So this is 100 miles within of Surrey, British Columbia. Mm-hmm. These are all of the events that are happening. But what I can also do is I can actually change this over here, and I can type in let's say I'm doing real estate in Edmonton, and I want to connect with a group of people that are in Edmonton. And so here's the Real Estate Career Information Center, win-win-win. So I can check all them out, and I can connect with Meetup leaders, because it's the Meetup leaders that I'm really interested in connecting with. So this would be here, Nicole. And then we've got all these people that are part of Nicole's group, 9 people in total. So I have all their names and emails and so on, but I would contact Nicole. And then I would say, hey, Nicole, I've got this affiliate program that I'm thinking of working on. And I'd like to run some details and numbers with you, because these people, they want to be compensated. We each pay about $80 for each 3 meetups for every 3 months. So if you take a look at that, that's over $300 a month per 3 meetups. That's a lot of money. And so these people, what they want is they want to ensure the success of their events. So you can definitely check out, for instance, if you're looking for sales training in Regina, you can check out here. We're going to check out Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And those are all the meetups that are happening there in the Regina. So meet and greet new members, 13 Toastmasters. Let's just see what else. Restaurant of the month. Revival. Is there anything there that you think that the people that are in your network or your target market, is there any of those events here? Okay, well, see, this is our event, so that's obviously not going to be right there. So maybe you want to take a look at all the meetups in the 100 miles of Saskatchewan. So I think you're getting the idea, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a really powerful tool. So all meetups with friends, you can actually go all the way down here. You can look for movements, but what you really want is sales training. Let's see if there's any sales trainings events. Well, there are no sales training events happening in Regina, Saskatchewan. So it might be a great opportunity for me, but there's no shortage of business for anyone. It's just a matter of getting it to happen. Go figure. It's that time already. Can you believe that? So what we have next is we have the most active users percentage change. So 71% of all users are active on Facebook, only 22% on LinkedIn. You see the big numbers and difference? It's a gigantic difference. I mean, basically, 2 out of 10 people are using LinkedIn. So that's what Robert does, is he also gets their email addresses and he also gets their phone numbers so that he can follow up with these individuals, understanding that chances are they probably don't answer their LinkedIn. It's only the last couple of years, guys. I've had LinkedIn since the beginning. It's only the last couple of years I've been using it. So if people are probably like me in regards to that. So then 66% of people are genders that are male use it. 18 to 29, you can see that the numbers just go down and down with age. You can see here high school graduation or less. 68% of people have education. You can see here that to make a $75,000 up, 69% of Facebook users, whereas only 38% over here. So it's really about how to develop a relationship with people on the Facebook for it to work with you. But if you're finding LinkedIn is working, realize that that the numbers are so much lower that if you were able to translate the success that you're having on LinkedIn onto Facebook, then you would literally double your results.
Yeah, the thing is, there also is the thing to consider is the small platform effect, where you can get a bigger audience from having a large share of a small,
good point,
like share of audience from a smaller platform. And sometimes, whereas a platform as massive as Facebook, you might get no audience at all from it.
That's a really good point to take into consideration. That's a good point.
LinkedIn is B2B and Facebook's B2C.
True. Yep. Yeah. But I'm doing B2B on Facebook though.
Well, I don't disagree, but if it depends on what you're offering.
I find coaches. See, I do coach coaches as well, or people that are in the service area like I am. I find a lot of them use Facebook. So for me, I do find that Facebook does work. But whatever it is for you guys, that's why we have a plethora. Go ahead, Robert.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, I think there's a big advantage in LinkedIn if you are
using it the way you're using it. Yes. I recommend everyone use it that way. I agree with you. So how to find your voice and tone. And this is and after this one, what I'll do is we're going to wrap up. You guys can go to the group. You can download all the examples and there's so much more, but I wanted you guys to take a look at this and on a weekly basis, bring me what you're working on. It's just a way for us to be accountable. So here it is. Your voice is a personality trait. Write like this, a positive example, not like this, a counter example. Why? Because of the rationale. So you'll find, so let's take a look. Starter questions. What is the brand? If your brand was a person, what kind of personality would it have? Mine would be kind, caring, and generous. So if your brand was a person, what's their relationship to other customers? Or is it a friend, a coach, a teacher? So we would be a coach and a teacher. What is yours? Describe an adjective. What your company? Describe in adjectives what your company personality traits is not. Hey, Diane, you want to help with that one?
Adjectives?
Yes, describe in adjectives what your company's personality is not.
Is not.
Yeah, isn't that an interesting question?
Well, I could describe what it is, but not what it's not.
Well, can you help us describe what an adjective is then?
Well, an adjective is a word that describes something else,
So give us an example of what it is, and then we'll reverse it and say what it's not, just as an example.
Well, for my company, I'm an encourager.
You're an encourager. So you do not recommend people read the traditional way. Is there any adjectives in there? You do not recommend.
No.
Oh, okay, well, that sucks. Darn it, I have to get that. Oh, man. But that's all right. That's what this is all about. So anybody
This is fun.
One thing I could say is if you're an encourager, then it means you are not a discourager.
There you go. We do not discourage people from reading a word at a time. That's a good one.
True.
Let's just see what else. Come up with another one for yourself there, Jason.
Okay, something I'm not. I would say definitely I'm not greedy.
Okay. Robert, do you have one?
Not judgmental.
Great. That's very good. Let me just see here. Adjectives. We are not bad. Would that be one? I think it is. All right. So that's fun. What is your not adjectives? Are there any so if you guys, we're just going to continue on. We're almost done. Are there any companies that have a similar personality as yours, and why are they similar? Actually, there are a couple for me. And how do you want your customers to think about your company? So then what we have is find your voice. You're empathic. So write like this. So sorry for the hassles. We'll be updating again as soon as possible. Not like this. We apologize for the delay. Why? Empathic language shows gratitude and respect for the customer. It makes them feel listened to and valued. So just some really cool tools that you guys can be using. Here, what we have also is how to compare your social media profile. So we actually give you step by step on comparing your profiles. You guys have probably done this already, but hey, it's always good to take a look at what we can enhance. How to create an awesome social media bio. Excuse me?
Oh, okay. So that does mean that we're Canadian and we apologize for everything?
Yeah, no, we're not bad, man. We're not. What also came up in here, though, was this. This is really cool. I wanted you guys to see this. It's called the social media audit. So you actually, and I'd like for you guys to actually do this for next week. Do this for yourself and find out. I'm going to be doing it. I do all this work. It just takes time and I have to plan it. So fill this audit out for yourself and see where you're at in all of these, and then slowly and surely build it up. And then the last part of what I prepared for you guys today was the analytics. So it's basically you have here how to use it. And this is a gift from Buffer, by the way. So I grabbed it from them. And so it says, here's the post, how many retweets, favorites, replies, how many clicks, and then it scores, which is really kind of neat. And then what you can do is based on scores and on expectations, what you're able to do is you're able to get more boosts and pay for boosts and so on. I do pay for boosts, but I also do what Robert's doing, which is getting a virtual assistant. Now, speaking of a virtual assistant, Diane, did you manage to hire your virtual assistant?
No, I have not done so yet.
Okay, no big deal. Well, that's very exciting. Can't wait to hear how you put yours to work. And with that, I'll stop the recording.
I have a reference.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Cool. That might be a little bit easier for Dan. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording and say, guys, come on to our social media Mondays where we have good ideas and come up with some we'll just keep on going with social media. Thanks for being here. Talk to you next week.